Where to start? Let's see what we have. Okay. Just says hi.
Most impressive.
The tech lead and I did not get along well about it, and he eventually told basically the CEO of our company that I was woefully out of my depth and needed to immediately be replaced and investigated. Because I had a way to code that didn't use React. And if that strikes your interest, well, today is your lucky day, because I'm going to show off a way to code that doesn't use React and is awesome. So we're going to start creating a script. I think for now, I don't know if it'll stay this way, but for now we're going to put it in one file. I think we can keep it like within 200 lines, because I think that's about how much is being used already. We won't have React backing us up, so we may have to get creative. So we're gonna need a top level function. Kind of like an app function in React. First thing we're gonna need, well, not lowrandom.com, we're gonna need the image list that we laboriously have built at huge cost to our mental health. Just kidding. We need our image list. That's like the most important thing to start with. Get the response, and then console log. Perfect. So let's try that. We're gonna need to plop it into our HTML. Okay. Oop. Refresh. Okay. Array. Wow, it's almost 6,000. Jeez, El Topo, anonymous creator of this collection. Get a life, bro. Jeez. Since this is the top level, I think we can try to clean up the function a little bit. Just to get rid of some of the noise up here at the top level function, so that when you read it, you kind of see like a recipe guide of how to build the little random site. And you're not like distracted by all these API requests and other small details. They'll be like kind of abstracted out effectively. Nice. Okay. And then, yeah, looks like we need to delve into use next image. So buffer algorithm, let's take a look at that to start. Maximum image buffer count. This is all coming to memory again. It's been a while. Like, I remember that there's an algorithm that would preload images because the GIFs are so huge, and it would vastly improve performance. So when you click for the next image, it was already loaded in the background. And it actually would load a lot of images in the background, up to 10. So you never have to wait. I dialed it in. I remember I dialed it in because I wanted it to be long enough to get through the subway stops. Because if you're in New York, you'll know that there's no internet access between subway stops. So I wanted to make sure that you could download enough images that you would make it between the subway stops. That was the the logic of the algorithm. It's gonna take forever to load this into my brain. It's complicated. Jeez. Load image element. What do we got here? Okay. So again, this is something that'll need to change because this is loading from a cloud function, and that's no longer the case. It's now all local. It's all pre-built. But I do think this whole function, we can probably just take it all. Actually, I actually have, that's the alt text. I created one alt text for the whole collection. If you've seen some of my older videos, you'll understand why I have a big alt text there. And you can read it. If you visit the site, you can read the whole thing. Okay. But yeah, we'll just kind of like have this handy. And we may need it soon, but currently it won't do anything. We won't use it quite yet. I love that I can autocomplete that. I didn't have to Google it for once in my life. That felt good. Random number between, image length right, correct. Okay. Yeah, but probably we'll have to get the actual image. So that will be the URL. Okay. I would love to see some little random happening right now. I would love to see it. I want to see it. So this is the same as React. You just put like a root element. Get element by ID. Maybe I'll do penchild. Yep. So these are the classic DOM APIs, you know. They're not pretty, but they work. Parent.replace children. You know, web APIs are a little intimidating at first because they have like an interesting history, but and they have a reputation for not working consistently. But that's really been resolved, especially in 2025. There's like huge interop efforts happening in the web standards space. And so you can really rely on these to work. And they're actually more rock solid than even like stuff you'd see in like a library like React. And like any chance to go to MDN and see the web documentation, it's just a comforting, happy place. At least for me, it's somewhere I like to be, and I like having opportunities to, you know, work directly with the web platform whenever I can. Hey, yay! It's weird. It's a little random. It is random. That felt good. We got it. It's not done yet, but it actually, you know, if you refresh, you have a little random experience already. But we're gonna do better. We're gonna replicate just the same as it is now. Might be pretty much impossible to tell the difference. Should I just call it app like I don't know, it feels wrong. I feel like a function should start with a verb. You just call me old-fashioned. It's just how I feel. Is that old-fashioned? Create. We'll call it create. That'll be like, kind of like create a DOM node. You can create a higher level element. We need to put all of this logic that loads the image, and we need to put it into a function that can be triggered at will. So we have like a high level function that we can pass around that'll just like fetch another image. Currently it just loads one and plops it on the screen, and there's no like capability to refresh it, right? Something I like about coding this way is that like you can create a like a good, strong, meaningful API for every component that follows the behavior of any JavaScript function, right? So in this case, there needs to be a parent because it needs to put UI on the screen, but it doesn't need to return like a DOM, like a React node. It can return anything it wants. So like we can return like some function that will like allow you to refresh the image. And that just makes sense given this UI, right? Okay, and then all of this is going to need to be moved because this is the part that actually loads the image. Okay, now we've not actually put anything on the screen, so maybe, is that the next step? Let's see. Okay, so first thing, in order to put something on the page, we're gonna have to create like a root element for this component. So I'll just call it component, it's a div. And then we're going to, inside of that, put the actual like image content. So that way we can attach styling and stuff to the outer layer, and then also have stuff inside. So currently this component is disembodied and not attached. Okay, so we have to attach it to the parent. This is just gonna stick around. Okay, let's refresh. Oh. Cannot destructure image list of undefined. Oh, did I forget to pass it in? Let's see. Image list. There it is. Okay, yeah, I didn't pass it in. Easy fix. Okay, let's try again. Object promise. What am I missing? Is there something about this function? Oh, it's async. Oh, because it said promise, duh. Oh my god. Yay! Okay. Then they'd understand. Definition of cringe. I guess I want to make it more interactive, right? So like, is there a way to add those keyboard handlers so that you can trigger the next without having to click? Where are the keys? Let's look at the old version. How I did it in the last time. Here they are. Okay, I can just grab this, steal it. It's almost exactly the same to what I'm using now because it is the same experience. All right, and then if you click, it just gets next image. So I feel like this might work. Space, enter, right, and down. Yeah, just whatever feels like next. Okay, let's try. Refresh. Good dancing, baby. Hey. Okay, right arrow key. Oh, but look. I don't have any styling, so I'm not gonna comment on those guys. No comment. But I do have the keyboard shortcuts are working. That's great. Okay, I'm gonna change the document because I want clicks anywhere, even outside of the container, to work. Yeah, because currently you just have to be focused onto that container for it to work. And then spacebar will scroll down the page, and so I need to prevent default for that reason. Yeah, and look, I can click outside the page, no problem, it works. Oh god. El Topo. I feel like the main thing that's missing now would be this styling. Is there an API to add styles to an HTML document? You know, insert styling. So I think what I'll do is I'll have like an add styles function. It's gonna like abstract some of this. So I can just put like, basically declare, these are the styles that I need for this component. And then it'll sort of figure out how to put them into the head of the document. New CSS style sheet. That seems pretty clean, geez. Is this, I wanna look at that. Let's look at that. Is that something that's gonna be cross-browser compatible? Just some brand new thing. Widely available, it claims. Yeah, let's look at some of these. This is kind of neat, actually. Replace sync. Newly available. It does claim that it works in all the major browsers, but like since this is in JavaScript, even if it's just a little too old, it's gonna just break everything and the whole app won't work. So I might want to use a more legacy approach. You know, it's not like I'm gaining a lot by using the new approach. Like, can I just do, you just insert a style tag like in text form? Yeah, I'm gonna do the boring, crappy approach, you know, because that'll just work more reliably and consistently across even old browsers. So how the add styles function is gonna work is that there'll be a, you can pass a string to it and it will just simply be inserted into the DOM. Okay, so I need an ID. One thing that since this ID will be used in CSS, I have to honor the fact that it can't start with a number, but the rest of this just generates a string of random numbers that are 7 digits long. That should be plenty to avoid any collisions. And then I'll get an ID. Well, yeah, like this. And then I'll assign the ID to the DOM node. So it'll be like, it'll have an ID now. So you see this? It's interesting. It's like a little interesting combination of JavaScript and CSS. But it's not hard to read. It's not hard to understand. It just uses web APIs. And then what are the styles that I need? So I should raid my other implementation for this. Okay, cursor pointer, that's what we'll put here. All right. And then we have to get all these scoped stuff with height. So I'm just gonna replicate the way that I did it before. Okay, so now it should fill in the container. Moment of truth, a bit scared. Oh, style is not defined. 95, okay, let's look at 95. Oh, I just didn't define that, okay. Okay, boom, should be easy to fix. It's black, okay. Not centered. There's no there's a margin at the top, so I can easily. Okay, so at least we got rid of the margin at the top. I want to see the other version of this part of the blog. And look at this horrible cold start. Oh, who's gonna wait this long? This is what we're doing, folks. This is why. This is why it matters. It's for this. Like, why are the styles not applying? Some of them are applying, just not all of them. Maybe I should just look at the, okay, so those work. So that means that the add styles function is working. So these are working, these two. But down here, these guys, there must be something different about it. Did that fix it?
Also, I have lots of imitation crab meat in my freezer that I need to get rid of, so you can have a bunch when you leave.
So are there any styles like on this image tag, for example? The div should have styles, so they're not showing up. Does the ID not match? Let's look at the styling. Oh, well that doesn't look right. it's an ID, so it needs an ID selector. Bam. Okay, that should fix it. Let's try again. Let's see if it fills in the height now. Yay, okay. Oh, it shouldn't scroll. That wasn't what I intended. Something's wrong. Let's see. D image. Let's inspect. Let's see. Okay, so the styling is there. The parent. See, the parent has the wrong height. It should be a height 100%. Okay, so what I need to do is I need to add height 100% to every parent. Okay, see, now it has the 100% height. Yay. And that's creepy. Click. Next. It's working. This feels good. It feels very nice. I'm loving this. I'm going to see if we can take this to the next level. But for now, this is amazing. This is so sweet. Wow, it's been very nice working with these very pleasant web APIs. It's such a nice change from like the friction that I feel like in the mature React code base where things just start getting hectic. It feels like, I was gonna say it's like cutting a hot knife through butter, but it's honestly like, it's like a samurai sword, you know, heated in a kiln to like boiling temperature and then slicing it through like a huge wheel of cheese. It just feels amazing. Well, so in the next episode, we're going to enhance low random and bring it up to the same level that the current experience is. So it has all the features that low random should have, including the ability to like preload images so that you never have to wait for your next GIF. All right, folks, see you in the next time.